Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my channel? Thank you so much. I expanded the territory in the business empire after my younger sister debuted. By using my resources, she had me sent to a mental hospital. She hugged my new wealthy boyfriend in the business world and came to show off. Thank you, sister, for giving me hundreds of millions in worth. She hinted to the male nurse in charge of me. My sister has a great figure, right? I was abused to death by the male nurse. When I opened my eyes again, I was reborn on the day when I risked my life to rescue the company's equipment in the snowstorm. I slacked off. I worked from 9 p.m. to 5 p.m., 5 days a week, and pretended to know nothing when asked anything. Without my decisions, the company declined. My father became a debtor on the blacklist, and my sister also became the child of a debtor who was despised by everyone. I severed ties with them, founded a new company, and made it onto the rich list. We all have a bright future, sister. I've never understood why everyone only liked you, but now it doesn't matter anymore, because now it's only me left. This was the last sentence Anna said to me. It's ridiculous that I fought tooth and nail in the business world, but in the end, I was plotted against by my own family. Every day when I was abused by the nurses in the mental hospital, electrocuted, incontinent, and helplessly tied to the bed with restraint straps, I could see my sister singing and dancing on TV. The little princess of the Ethan Group was the persona bestowed on her by the capital. The family used the money I earned to support her, helping her go higher and higher and become a sought-after idol. And what about me? I was the one who contributed to the Ethan Group becoming a billion-level enterprise, the fuel that burned with my life for the Ethan Group. In the end, however, I was trapped in this prison-like room, stinking all over. Why? Why? When I opened my eyes again, I was standing in front of a small hotel with other colleagues. It was pitch dark, and the snow was falling heavily all over the sky, with a gust of the north wind. I was almost blown down. I picked up my mobile phone and saw that today was my 20th birthday. Was I reborn? Memories slowly came back. On this day in my previous life, I braved the snowstorm in the northeast to rescue the most important batch of equipment for the company. The company had spent a large sum of money purchasing this batch of equipment abroad. It was also this batch of equipment that enabled the company to gain a firm foothold in the industry. 10 years after, the Ethan Group grew into a huge giant. This rescue was evaluated by the media as the cornerstone of the Ethan Group's technological progress. Even so, my father, Ethan, didn't even give me an extra glance after I rushed home from the northeast in a hurry and told him the news in person. He just said, "Well done," and then turned around to discuss with my stepmother how my sister's birthday party should be held. I still remember the scornful look in my stepmother's eyes. They wouldn't know that. 'Cause I stayed in the low temperature for too long, my knees would ache. Every winter, the engineer's hat was blown away by the wind, rolling several times and disappearing in the distance. After answering a phone call, the team leader looked troubled. The taxi driver cancelled the reservation. With the temperature nearly 40 degrees C, there's no one on the road at all, and we can't even get a taxi online. The situation was the same in my previous life. However, I stepped forward, carried a 20-kilo toolbox on my back, and walked several kilometers before finding a kind-hearted person who gave me a lift. All that hard work, for whom was it all for? If possible, I just wanted to slap myself in my previous life twice. Olivia's eyes showed her eagerness. Alice is the youngest among us. Young people should endure more hardships. Why don't you, Alice, go to the warehouse and have a look first? Everyone's eyes fell on me. I skipped 2 grades in junior high school and senior high school respectively. Right after graduation, I rejected job offers from other world-class companies and joined my father's company. I concealed my identity and started from the grassroots level, working diligently every day and often being ordered around by some old-timers. I smiled brightly. I can go, but I need someone else to give me a hand. Let's say Olivia. The other colleagues all looked at Olivia. Yes, Alice is reliable. Olivia, you go with her. If no one goes, we'll all be reprimanded by the department head. Look how straightforward Alice is. Olivia, just agree to it. Asking me to go, do you think I'm stupid? Olivia wrapped her cotton-padded jacket tightly around herself and gave the colleague who spoke a fierce glare. The colleague who echoed snorted, "Hump! Coward!" All right, everyone, stop arguing. The team leader asked the rest of us to enter the hotel first. He himself put on 2 down jackets and stood by the roadside, hailing a taxi for half an hour. Unfortunately, not a single one showed up. Even when there were occasional taxis, they just sped by without stopping at all. Finally, the team leader slapped the snow off his body vigorously. He lifted the curtain of the hotel and said to us, "The weather is too extreme. Let's just wait." Okay. The snowstorm didn't clear up until 5 days later. The sunlight shone through the clouds onto the ground, but it didn't bring any warmth at all. We took a car to the warehouse. After the engineer inspected the equipment, he sighed. One after another. Ruined. All ruined. I chuckled inwardly. Ruined? Just let it be. I didn't care anyway. I had memorized the technical principles of this batch of machines by heart. While eating roasted sweet potatoes, I took a glance when I had time. Ethan had invested most of the funds in this. What would the company do next? Really nice. What's really nice? Oh, I mean the sweet potatoes. It was evening when I got home. Ethan was in the study. Through the door, I could hear his intermittent voice. "Bank manager, could you extend the repayment deadline for a few more days?" There was the sound of things being smashed in the study as Ethan threw things all over the floor. My stepmother and Anna walked in with big and small bags in their hands and happened to run into me. "Oh, when did Alice come back? So you still damaged the batch of equipment after all?" My eyes fell on Anna. Her appearance was just plain at best, but in my previous life, after several plastic surgeries, she could be considered an artificially pretty little beauty. I just wondered if, without my efforts in this life, could she still be her little princess? Anna threw the shopping bags in her hand casually and shouted loudly, "Sister, you've caused such a big trouble for the company, and you're still playing with your phone here." Hearing this, Ethan called me into the study. "Alice Kane." I ignored Ethan's call and walked straight up to Anna, swung my arm around and slapped her hard. "Can you talk properly? Did I buy the equipment? It was clearly bought by your dear father. According to your logic, the company has become like this because of your dear father." "How dare you hit me?" Anna's eyes were blazing with anger. It's not surprising. After all, I had been putting up with her and everything since I was a child. As time went by, she naturally came to think that I was inferior to her. "Hit you, and that's that. Do I need to choose a day for it?" Anna was so angry that she was about to fight back, but was stopped by my stepmother, who gave her a warning look. "Alice, get into the study." "I won't go in. If you have something to say, come out and say it." I sat on the sofa with one leg crossed over the other. My stepmother quickly said, "Ethan, come out and see what your dear daughter has done to my precious Anna." Hearing this, Ethan slammed the door and shouted at me, "Why did you hit your sister?" I covered my ears and clicked my tongue. "Ah, it's so noisy. What's wrong with you today?" Ethan looked me up and down. Yes, in the past, I was willing to do anything to get his attention. I was a dutiful and obedient daughter through and through, but things are different now. "What's wrong with you?" I asked in return. "When there's a problem with the company, you lose your temper with your family. Have you ever reflected that it's because you're so incompetent? Instead of lecturing me, you'd better figure out how to bring the company back to life." Anna, still covering her face, didn't forget to add fuel to the fire. "Sister has become quite capable after going out for a trip." My stepmother glared at me. "Ethan, your daughter is so rebellious. Who can control her? You have to stand up for us." "Auntie, no matter how rebellious I am, I can't compare to you. The company can't even pay off its loans. Yet you and my sister still went shopping. The things in these bags must add up to at least 100,000. You, right? My stepmother folded her arms. Suddenly, a whole cup of tea was splashed onto my face. You unruly girl! Water droplets trickled down from my hair to my cheeks. The water wasn't too hot, but the sense of affiliation was extremely strong. I wiped my face. Ethan, in your eyes, I'm supposed to be a dog that bears all the hardships without complaint. Your obedient punching bag, right? Who gave you permission to call me by my name? You have no manners. My stepmother and sister exchanged a silent glance and showed victorious smiles. Very well. I took a deep breath, directly pulled the suitcase, face that hadn't been moved yet, rushed out of the door, and took out a megaphone that I had prepared in advance. Dear neighbors, Ethan on the 16th floor of Building 2 is beating his daughter. Come out and have a look. This shout broke the tranquility of 8 in the evening. The doors in the corridor opened one after another. I'm the daughter of Ethan's first wife. After my mother died, Ethan, a Phoenix man, inherited my mother's estate and then married another woman. Now the three of them are forcing me to work like a slave for their family, abusing me, pouring hot water on me, and forcing me to go to the northeast and go out in the snowstorm. Is there any justice? I'm even worse off than being... After recording it, I set it to play automatically. I placed megaphones everywhere. One in the corridor, one in the elevator, one at the gate of the community, one in the parking lot, and even one in the small square where the old ladies do square dancing. I glued the switches of all the megaphones so that they couldn't be turned off at all. After leaving the community, my phone kept ringing. I kept hanging up the calls. The callers changed from Ethan to my stepmother, and then to my sister. What are you talking nonsense about outside? Hurry back and turn off the megaphones. Come back quickly. Don't make a fool of yourself. Why can't the megaphones be turned off? It was so funny. I directly blocked all of them. I took my suitcase and went to stay with my grandparents. My mother was the daughter of a former provincial governor. She was blind in love when she was studying and fell for Ethan. She died of heart disease when I was 1 year old. Ethan got married to his secretary, who is now my stepmother, without any delay, and a few months later, my stepmother became pregnant with Anna. In fact, I wasn't particularly close to my grandparents, especially when I grew up. I was so busy with my studies and career that I only contacted them during festivals. But I remembered that 6 years later, my grandma passed away due to lung cancer. When I arrived at my grandpa's door, I realized that I was being a bit presumptuous. Just as I was hesitating, the door opened from the inside. "Oh, Alice is here. What are you standing outside for? Come in quickly." Why is Alice's hair wet? Grandma brought a towel. At the dinner table, there was another middle-aged man sitting there. For some reason, I always felt that he looked a bit familiar. The two old people didn't avoid talking in front of me, but continued their conversation. Only then did I learn that the factory of this uncle in front of me had some cash flow problems, and he wanted to ask my grandpa if he knew any investors. While wiping my hair, I thought for a while and finally slapped my forehead and asked, "Uncle, are you Lucas?" Yes, sure enough, the person in front of me was Lucas, the biggest competitor of the Ethan Group. He had a very sharp business vision and was far-sighted. Many times, his ideas coincided with mine. At this time in my previous life, the Ethan Group took the lead in researching new machines, and Lucas's machinery factory almost went bankrupt. However, he carried out several reforms and finally brought the machinery factory back to life. "Uncle Lucas," I said with a smile, "I have some information about foreign machines here. I wonder if you're interested." "This model, Lucas was a bit hesitant. After seeing my grandpa's affirmative look, he gritted his teeth and said, "This information is very important to me. Miss Alice, name your price. I'll go and raise the money right away. You don't have to pay me. I want to take a stake in the technology. The machines you bought with money are lying dormant in the snowstorm, but I've given the technical principles to your competitor. Good luck to you. The next day was Saturday. I had been constantly thinking about Grandma's cancer in my previous life, so early in the morning, I took the two old people to a big hospital for a physical examination and had them both do lung examinations. Sure enough, a nodule was detected in Grandma's lung. Maybe a puncture or a section would be needed. Grandma didn't want to be hospitalized. She said it would be okay to have regular physical examinations and observations, but my grandpa and I managed to persuade her. Grandma, let's all listen to the doctor. You'd better be hospitalized first. Yes, if it turns into cancer, it'll be no small matter. Under our insistence, Grandma had no choice but to be hospitalized for treatment. In this life, Grandma will surely be healthy. That night, I accompanied Grandma in the hospital. We were recalling the interesting things in our childhood when my mobile phone kept ringing with a ding-dong sound. I took a look and saw messages in the department group. Everyone in the department should gather in the meeting room at 9:15 tomorrow morning. Please reply upon receipt. Received, received. Tomorrow was Sunday. I asked in the group, why must we work on the weekend? Are we not going to live until Monday? 5 minutes later, no one in the group said a word. Another 5 minutes later, I was kicked out of the group chat by the department head. Oh, good for you. I'll make you take the initiative to add me back on Monday. I came to the company. Good morning, I greeted. No one paid attention to me. The colleagues sitting next to me were all quiet and occasionally glanced at me. Alice, come to my office. The department head knocked on my desk with a gloomy face. I followed the department head and heard the whispers of my colleagues. Since the machines were already ruined, the department head was already angry enough, and Alice even openly talked back in the group. It was the department head who took the initiative promised the boss that I would treat this batch of machines as if they were my own life. But what happened? The machines are gone, of course. He's angry, yes, and it's said that the boss has promised that whoever can save the machines will be given a bonus of 5,000 yuan. A bonus. In my previous life, no one gave me a bonus either. Could it be that someone withheld it? I sneered sarcastically. My dear father, Ethan, was sitting in the department head's office, and Olivia, who was gloating, was standing beside him. Ethan and I had always pretended not to know each other in the company. At this moment, as soon as he saw me, his forehead bulged with anger. I wondered how he finally dealt with those megaphones in the community. Alice, Olivia said that you guys originally had a chance to rush to repair those equipments, but it was delayed because of you alone. Is that right? How can you say that? I asked. I clearly agreed to go, but I couldn't lift the machines by myself, so I proposed that Olivia go with me. But Olivia didn't want to. You're young. It's okay to endure a bit of hardship. Since you came to work here, we senior colleagues have helped you a lot. Why do you always try to avoid things when something happens? Olivia evaded the main issue and put on a look of distress. There were more people than just me and Olivia who went that day. I opened the door of the meeting room. The team leader wasn't there. The other colleagues who went with us that day lowered their heads one after another when they saw me come out and didn't dare to look at me. I understood they thought that since I had made the department head lose face in the group yesterday, they could conveniently put the blame for the damage to the equipment on me. Ethan finally said the first sentence. So what about the snowstorm? Can we still go out during a snowstorm? I chuckled softly. The weather forecast knows to advise people to stay indoors as much as possible, but you don't, my dear father. In the astonished eyes of Olivia, the team leader, and the department head, I continued. Why are you staring with such wide eyes? Don't you recognize me? Don't talk nonsense in the company. Oh, okay then. My father is an idiot. Oh, why are you so angry? I pulled out one of the only 2 office chairs in the office and sat down with a plop. Olivia's and the department head's eyes shifted back and forth between me and Ethan, and their faces turned ashen. I quietly kicked open the office door with my foot. "Father," I shouted loudly, "I know you've always been partial to Aunt Grace's children, but you're too heartless to me. You asked me, as an ordinary employee, to monitor the work attitudes of other colleagues, which made me feel guilty every time I faced them. Now, you even sent me on a business trip to the Northeast, where the temperature was 40 degrees C, and blamed me for refusing to go out in the snowstorm. Even a tiger wouldn't eat its cubs. What on earth have I done wrong?" The door began to creak. "I know the company has problems. Is it that we won't be able to get paid next month? It doesn't matter. I still have a salary of 3,000 tools wen every month. You can take it. Don't worry about me. I have received this salary of 3,000 tools wen for 10 years. Even at this point in my rebirth, my salary was still the lowest in the whole company. Ethan was so angry that the few hairs on his balding forehead were twitching with his breath. He tremblingly pointed his finger at me. "What nonsense are you talking about?" "I'm not talking nonsense. Every word I say is from the bottom of my heart, Father. If you think I'm talking nonsense, you can call the police and have me arrested. I'll have no complaints at all. Get out of here." I quickly left the office and slammed the office door shut. Ethan probably thought it was embarrassing to stay in the office any longer, so he left the company with a dark face in his car. After he left, Olivia and the department head bent over with ingratiating smiles and walked up to me. "Miss Alice, I was so blind that I didn't recognize your importance." "Hey, don't!" I stopped them. "I'm just a junior who should endure hardships. How can I deserve such great courtesy from you?" The department head put on a bitter face. "Please don't say that, it's all my fault." I picked up my mobile phone. "It was you who kicked me out of the department group yesterday, right?" "I've already added you back. I drink coffee every day. We'll buy it for you." I snorted coldly. "Get lost. If it weren't for the following plan, who would stay here?" I turned on the computer and saw that the stocks I bought a few days ago had gone up. It seemed that the trend of the stocks was temporarily the same as in my previous life, so I directly put all my remaining savings into it. The colleague sitting next to me quietly leaned over to me. "Well, is it true that the company won't be able to pay next month's salary?" "Use your own brain to think about it," I replied. The colleague gave an embarrassed smile. At 5 in the afternoon of that day, I stood up and left work with my bag under the admiring gazes of many colleagues. After angering Ethan, I was in a great mood, but as soon as I returned to my grandpa's house, I saw Ethan's big face. Grandpa was sitting on the sofa, and Ethan was acting submissively beside him. "Look, old man, look at what Alice has become. She doesn't act like a girl at all." I cleared my throat with a couple of coughs and slapped the snacks I bought onto the sideboard. Ethan quickly stopped talking and looked in my direction. I sneered. "Don't just talk about me, talk about yourself. You're almost 50 years old. Having an affair and letting your mistress and her daughter gang up to bully your ex-wife's daughter. You're really something." Grandpa snorted heavily. Ethan argued stubbornly. "Whenever your stepmother buys something, she always gets you a share. Why do you make it sound so bad when you talk about it?" "You're quite right, buying things worth hundreds of thousands of yuan for her daughter and Jew. A few yuan's worth of things for me, that's what you call getting a share, right?" Ethan was silent for a moment. "I was wrong about this, Dad. I'll pay attention in the future." "Has he taken the wrong medicine?" Ethan then turned to Grandpa and said, "Dad, please let Alice come home with me. If she stays with you, you'll have to take the trouble to take care of her." "Oh, so that's what it's about." "He wants to clear his name in the community by taking me back." Grandpa turned to look at me as if asking for my opinion. I nodded. I still haven't settled scores with Anna. Seeing this, Grandpa said, "Ethan, remember that Alice is your own daughter. You can't be too partial. Although I'm retired, I still have some connections. If you dare to let Grace and her daughter bully Alice again, you'd better watch out whether your company can continue to operate." "Certainly." I carried my suitcase and went back to Ethan's house. Again, on the way, I greeted everyone I met. "Hello, AI. Hello, Uncle." About what happened the other day, it was just a prank. I'm sorry to have made you laugh. After greeting them, I whispered to Ethan, I'll cooperate with you. I hope you'll cooperate with me too. Ethan gave a dry laugh. When we got home, my stepmother and Anna were sitting on the sofa. When they saw me, they couldn't help but make sarcastic remarks. Alice still knows how to come home. Those megaphones of yours really gave your dad a hard time. These days, our family has been talked about a lot. I stopped in my tracks as I was entering the door. Then should I leave? Ethan quickly interrupted her. Stop talking like that in front of the child. My stepmother couldn't believe it and widened her eyes. You're actually scolding me. If you hadn't been causing trouble at home every day, could Alice have run away from home? Manage your daughter well in the future and stop provoking Alice. I patted Ethan's arm. Well done. I carried my suitcase and walked straight to my room. When passing by my stepmother, I covered my nose. Where's that stinky smell coming from? Didn't Auntie brush her teeth? Anna couldn't hold it in anymore and rushed over to push me. What nonsense are you talking about? Before I could react, Ethan slapped Anna on the face. First, Anna looked up. Dad! The father in her heart had changed. Ethan roared at her. I just said it, but you two just turned a deaf ear to it, didn't you? Anna cried and went back to her own room. The next day at breakfast, Anna's eyes were red and swollen. She took out her report card that she hadn't had time to sign yesterday. Dad, please sign it. Ethan attached great importance to children's education and always checked the scores on the test papers himself. At this time, as soon as he picked up Anna's report card, he frowned. All scores are in the 60s. How did you do in the exams? I looked at Anna's test papers. Ethan signed it. Your grades are really far worse than your sister's. People are afraid of comparison. I skipped grades and still got into a top university while in my previous. Anna only got into a third-tier college. It's still my mum's genes that are good. After all, my mum graduated with a doctorate degree. Meanwhile, I looked at my stepmother and said slowly, she's just a secretary with a high school diploma. My stepmother grasped her chopsticks so angrily that her eyebrows were twitching. I continued, I think Anna might as well stop studying and go for the art exam instead. Ethan fell into thought, as if he was starting to consider the feasibility of this. After that, I still went to work as usual, but I worked from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 5 days a week, and pretended to know nothing when asked anything. Alice, write this report. Sorry, I haven't finished mine yet. Alice, collect and analyze this data. Sorry, I'm going out to visit clients. All the colleagues found that I was no longer as hard-working and obedient as before. Moreover, since they all knew that I was the boss's daughter, gradually no one dared to order me around, and I had a leisurely time. Actually, I wasn't doing nothing. I was investing in stocks. After making a fortune by relying on my memories from my previous life, I used part of the money to buy bitcoins and houses. Then I took the remaining money to find Isabel. She was the founder of the most famous talent show company in my previous life. At this time, she was trying to sell her house and car to maintain the operation of several girl groups in her hands. I negotiated a cooperation with her and asked her to collaborate with my follow-up plan. By the way, Isabel readily agreed. Finally, I also told her that the era of nationwide talent shows was coming and asked her to recruit more young kids and prepare to hold a talent show for idle trainees. At this time, one of the girl groups in Isabel's hands still had some popularity. I took a photo with this girl group and posted it on my WeChat moments. It's so nice to be an idol. You can be sought after and make money at the same time, I said, making it visible only to Anna. I knew that she had always dreamed of being in a girl group. In this life, I'm going to accelerate her entry into the entertainment industry. Want to be a little princess, huh? Without me, how far can you go? When I got home, it was just dinner time. I casually put 2 tickets for a boy band's concert on the coffee table and asked the aunt who cooked for our family. Does your daughter like watching concerts? A friend gave me these tickets. Anna glanced in my direction. When I went to drink water in the middle of the night, the tickets were gone. I learned from Anna's so-called plastic sisters that Anna went to watch that boy band's concert. After coming back, I don't know what stimulated her. She bought a lot of cosmetics and started dressing up. She didn't eat every day and kept shouting about losing weight. My stepmother was so angry that she threw her chopsticks. Why are you wearing makeup at such a young age? I want to, don't interfere. Sister looks really pretty with makeup on, I interrupted. Sighed, don't make trouble. I raised my eyebrows. Should I leave? Ethan's gaze swept over. Instantly, my stepmother flinched and then turned to shout at Hannah. You've even regressed in this month's exam. Are you always thinking about these frivolous things? Every day, my stepmother left the dining table and strode into Anna's room, putting all the cosmetics into garbage bags. I'll throw all this rubbish of yours away today. Mum, don't throw them away. Anna's resistance was in vain, and she looked at my stepmother resentfully. I'm doing this for your own good. In the middle of the night, I knocked on Anna's door with several sets of brand new cosmetics. What do you want? She asked, full of vigilance on her face. They're for you, I said calmly. Under Anna's scrutinizing eyes, I added, they're brand new and unopened. You can check them yourself. Why are you being so kind? I think your mum is too strict with you. It's normal for girls to wear makeup. Anna slammed the door shut. That night, the light in her room never went out. A month later, Anna's grades in the monthly exam regressed again. My stepmother held her report card. Why did I give birth to such a useless daughter like you? You're far less intelligent than Alice. Why are you so stupid? Who says only grades matter? I'm going to participate in a talent show. Anna held up a crumpled poster. I'm going to sign up for the talent show. I'm going to be an idol. I don't want to study anymore. Those who pursue a career in the entertainment industry have been learning singing and dancing since they were young. What have you learned? I learned ballet when I was a kid, but you only learned it for 3 years, didn't you? You yourself gave up because you thought it was too tiring. Mom, just let me have a try. Seeing that she couldn't persuade my stepmother, Anna began to act coyly. If I don't get selected, I'll take the art exam. The requirements for cultural courses in the art exam aren't high. Ethan, my stepmother, looked at Ethan hesitantly. Ethan frowned. Let her go, anyway. She definitely won't be selected. So Anna finally got her wish and signed up for that talent show. This talent show was going to select 9 girls out of 100 to form a group. It was the first talent show variety show in China and directly set off a nationwide craze for talent shows. Unfortunately, because Anna had no foundation and her appearance was just so-so, she was eliminated in the first episode. After that, my plan began. I had someone contact Anna and sign her under Isabel's company. When she came home, her tone was full of excitement. Although I was eliminated in the first round, the company signed a contract with me. Is the company reliable? Ethan asked. Of course it's reliable. This talent show was organized by them. They've made a lot of money. That was true. My current earnings were growing exponentially every day. Mum and Dad, I don't plan to go to university. After taking the art exam, I'm going straight into the entertainment industry. No way, my stepmother interrupted. You should at least go to university. The entertainment industry is for the young. How many years can you work in it? But I've just participated in the talent show and still have some popularity. By the time I finish university, it'll be who knows when. Ethan made a decision. We still need to think about this. Let's talk about it after you finish the art exam. In the evening, when I passed by Ethan's room, I heard his conversation with my stepmother. It's a good thing that Anna has her own ideas. I'll work for a few more years and earn some money to help her get ahead in the industry. Ethan, you're so kind. Suddenly, I thought of the days and nights when I was trapped in the mental hospital. People's hearts can really be so partial. On the day when Anna's art exam results came out, Lucas also used the information I gave him before to research and develop new communication equipment. This equipment directly shook the whole industry. Many companies were eager to cooperate with Lucas, but because of my instruction, Lucas rejected them. Ethan threw things around furiously at home. This Lucas used to compete with me for clients. As he spoke, Ethan's gaze fell on me again, and he blamed me. If it wasn't for you failing to save that batch of machines, we would be the ones who developed the new equipment. Now are you done yet? I also imitated his way and threw a vase at him, forcing him into a corner. What a failure your life is. All you can do is bring up the past, right? Since that batch of equipment was so important, why didn't you go to the Northeast yourself? Ethan was breathing heavily. How could I have a daughter like you? Just when we were in a stalemate, my stepmother hurriedly pushed open the door of the house. Anna is gone, she said. She was afraid that we would force her to go to university, so she left with the company directly. Ethan was so angry that he swayed. You unruly child! I went back to my room and made a phone call to Anna's agent. Is the plan going smoothly? Sure, we told her that if she wanted the company to promote her, she must have plastic surgery. Now we're already in South Korea. The doctor has been contacted. Her plastic surgery is bound to fail. In the following days, Anna didn't contact her family. My stepmother was worried all day long, coupled with the fact that the company's old equipment couldn't be sold and was on the verge of bankruptcy, and employees were resigning one after another. Ethan was also very agitated, so the two of them would quarrel at the slightest provocation. As for me, I just stood by, watching and eating melon seeds. It was a month later when Anna was finally willing to answer the phone. Anna, on the other side of the video call, was wearing sunglasses. My stepmother asked excitedly, Anna, where are you? The company asked me to have plastic surgery, but it went wrong. Anna pointed to her nostrils, which were obviously of different sizes. What should I do now? The company doesn't want to pay for my repair. I need 100,000 yuan for the repair plastic surgery. Who asked you to have it? Ethan said angrily. What are you thinking about every day? You don't understand. There's no idol who doesn't have plastic surgery. Plastic surgery failures are common. Just give me some money and I'll have it repaired. I'll pay you back double when I debut in the future. You're really full of ideas. Anna hung up the phone. My stepmother asked Ethan, How's the company? Ethan took a puff of his cigarette. It's still in debt. How about mortgaging this house? Hey, don't, I quickly interrupted them. This house was left to me by my mother. What right do you have to sell it? The family is already in such a mess, yet you don't seem to care at all. Ethan criticized me. My stepmother pulled Ethan's sleeve, and the two of them whispered something to each other. The next day, Ethan said he would take me to a banquet. I directly refused. I'm not going. It's a business banquet, it'll be good for you. Are you that kind-hearted? I don't believe it. Seeing that Ethan was about to get angry again, I quickly covered my ears. All you know how to do is shout. Drink some Pa Hai when you have time. I'm leaving. If there's nothing else, stop. Ethan said, Come with me and I'll give you 50,000 yuan. Huh? I burst out laughing. Just 50,000 yuan? Do you know how many zeros are in my account now? However, his stance made me a bit curious. General Manager Lee, this is my daughter. Ethan introduced me to the general manager of an entertainment company. Coincidentally, I had just met him with Isabel at an entertainment dinner the day before yesterday. I made a shh gesture to him. General Manager Lee then also pretended not to know me. I heard that General Manager Lee's second son is a talented and handsome young man. I wonder what General Manager Lee thinks of my daughter. My face darkened, and so did General Manager Lee's. General Manager Lee's second son has the super male syndrome. Although the couple has been working hard on educating him all these years, there are still some rumors about the second young Master Lee's violence in the circle, which has been a great headache for General Manager Lee. Is Ethan trying to sell me to General Manager Lee as his daughter-in-law? I sneered, shook off Ethan's hand, and walked away. When I got home, my stepmother began to persuade me. You're not young anymore. The family is now deeply in debt, yet you don't even try to help. That general manager, Lee, runs an entertainment company. When you marry into his family, remember to promote your sister. They're really being blatant about their calculations. Sorry, the debts are yours, nothing to do with me. The Leaf family is so good. If you want to marry into it, you go ahead. Ethan pointed. At my nose again. You ungrateful child. You've been relying on me for food and clothing all these years. Now, when I need you to do something, this is your attitude. Well, you're still living in the house my mother left me. Haven't you paid me any rent either? It's already decided. I'm telling you, you must marry the second young master, or I'll sever our father-daughter relationship with you. Huh. I opened my mouth mockingly. Such a good thing, you unfilial daughter. Ethan covered his heart. Ethan? Ethan, you'd better not be faking it. I watched him lying on the ground and directly dialed 120 for the hospital. The doctor said the patient was just too emotionally agitated. There's nothing wrong with his heart. I nodded. Oh, seeing him covering his heart, I thought he was going to die. Ethan was so angry that he directly wrote a statement to sever our relationship. Sign it, I said. It's just what I want. I contacted a real estate agent and sold the house we were living in at a price $100,000 yuan, lower than the market price, within a day. When Ethan was discharged from the hospital and returned home, the buyer had already changed the locks. Ethan called me. Did you sell the house? It's my house. None of your business. Don't you know that the company is having difficulties in operation now? Oh, you can try new loans. I hung up the phone. According to colleagues who were working overtime in the company, Ethan went back to the company to sleep that day. I then took my suitcase and went back to my grandparents'. Grandma's previous surgery was very successful. She just couldn't eat spicy food. We talked and laughed during the meal, which lasted for an hour. Among thousands of households with their lights on, finally, there was one for me. The next day, I found Isabel and asked her to get me a position as a producer. I planned to select a group of good talents from the company and form a new girl group. Meanwhile, I also needed to prepare for planning the talent show and variety show for the next year. When selecting members for the girl group, I saw Anna in the bathroom at the audition site. Anna's nose seemed to have been repaired, but her double eyelids hadn't been cut properly, making her look like a sad frog. She asked arrogantly, "How did you get in here?" "The family company has problems, so I'm here to work as a cleaner." I made up an excuse. Anna looked me up and down with disgust. "What's the use of being good at studying? You're still doing such a disgusting job." She rolled her eyes and walked away. I walked behind her and came to the audition office. "Hey, why are you following me?" Anna asked, dissatisfied. I smiled at her and directly pushed open the door of the audition office. After a while, my assistant shouted to the outside, "The producer has arrived. Those whose numbers are called, please come in for the interview." When it was Anna's turn for the interview, the information showed that her family ran a communication company, and her persona could be a wealthy princess. Company is almost bankrupt. During the performance, she sang a song mainly by herself. It sounded like a duck quacking. The other judges were quite tactful and told her to keep working hard. I directly said, "With your level, you shouldn't be here. You should be at a kindergarten art performance." Someone couldn't help laughing. Next, after the interview, Anna seemed to have waited at the door for quite a while. She asked me, "Are you the producer? So what? Put me in your new girl group." I was both angry and amused. Who do you think you are, so cheeky? Now that the family company has problems, who else but me can pay off the debts? Let me say it again. The debts you owe have nothing to do with me. If you want to debut so much, why don't you improve your own strength? I thought you were so capable. I don't know if it was these words that stimulated Anna, but she actually found an agent in the company and got herself into a certain girl group that was about to debut. After debuting, she gained a group of fans. When I met her while walking in the company, she said to me, "See? Without you, I can still debut. Yeah, you're so amazing." I took a sip of coffee and asked my assistant beside me to check Anna's agent. When I returned to the office, I saw a familiar person, David, my boyfriend, who was a rising star in the business world in my previous life. After he was snatched away by Anna, he even came to visit me in the mental hospital hand in hand with her. I can't forget this gift. As soon as David saw me, he followed me and introduced himself in a neither humble nor pushy manner. "Hello, I'm David. I guess you must be the famous investor Alice. I have a project here." "Sorry, I don't have time." I mercilessly closed the office door. When I finished my work, it was already 10 in the evening. My assistant had already left work. I rubbed my aching shoulders and just happened to see David on the sofa. David walked over as soon as he saw me. "It'll really only take you a few minutes." It was the same in my previous life. He kept pestering me, and I was touched by his sincerity and gave him a large sum of investment. What was the result? I rejected him again. Just as I was about to leave, there was something wrong with my car's tires. David followed me all the way to the parking lot and asked me, "Alice, would you like to take my car?" After I refused him, I opened the taxi hailing app, but it was a heavy rainstorm at that time, and my queue number was over 300. "Take my car. If you don't want to listen to my project, I'll keep quiet." I looked at him for a while. Seeing the sincere expression on his face didn't seem to be fake. I finally nodded. In the secluded space, thunder roared outside the car window, while the music flowed quietly inside the car. True to his word, David hardly said anything along the way and sent me to the gate of my community. "Thank you very much today." "You're welcome, Alice. I'll come to see you again tomorrow." David kept showing up beside me like this for a whole half a month, not wanting to be pestered by him anymore. I finally accepted his invitation and had dinner with him. Alice is truly beautiful in the candlelight. David's eyes seemed to be shining. "Are we on a date or talking about business?" I asked. David smiled and said, "Don't rush, we'll talk about it after dinner." Halfway through the meal, Anna pushed the door open and entered the private room. "You're still not vigilant enough." Anna shook the wine bottle on my table. "Sister, why are you so outstanding? Why are so many people fond of you?" "Oh, really?" I put down my knife and fork and took another sip of red wine. I was tired of hearing such words. Anna stared at me closely with her eyes. "You don't know that there's something in this wine, do you? When you wake up, guess where you'll be? The mental hospital." I kindly answered, "How did you know?" Anna sensed something was wrong. She turned her head and saw that David was already unconscious. "And you?" I said. My bodyguards pushed the door open and filed in one after another. One of them chopped the back of Anna's neck, and Anna unwillingly lost consciousness. Did she really think I was a fool? I picked up a handkerchief, wiped my hands, and instructed the people who came in. Send them both to the district mental health center that I've contacted in advance, and find a caretaker named Max. I've said it long ago that I would repay all the torments I suffered in my previous life. Ethan's company finally went bankrupt. The last time he saw me was downstairs at my grandpa's house. He grabbed my sleeve. "Alice, only you can help me now. You help me pay back this 10 million. Consider it a loan from you. Help the company, and I'll leave the company to you in the future." I shook off his hand. "Do you think I'll still believe you?" "I'm your father. How could I deceive you? My mother once believed that you wouldn't have an affair again either, but what was the result? It was a waste raising you. When did you ever raise me? You raised Anna, but you never raised me. Neither my grandpa nor I helped him. In the end, he decided not to pay back his huge debts with the little savings he had left. He abandoned his wife and children and fled abroad alone. I bought his bad debt from the bank at a low price and handed over his debts and his new address abroad to a violent debt collection agency. I want the money. I don't care whether he's alive or dead. I believe his future will be very wonderful. With Ethan's departure, some comments gradually appeared under Anna's Weibo. Boycott Anna, the daughter of a debtor. Anna's father owes our company a huge debt, and then he just left for abroad. Anna is the daughter of a debtor and is still in the entertainment industry. She should pay back the debt for her father. Anna should quit the entertainment industry. I directly issued her withdrawal statement from the girl group on the grounds that Anna was boycotted by Nissan, and Anna's agent, after being investigated by my assistant, was found to have abused his power for personal gains and was fired. Another person was arranged to take over the work he was responsible for at the district mental health center. Anna was struggling painfully, while the doctor beside her said to increase the electric current. The intense pain stimulation made Anna incontinent. After a brief loss of consciousness, she was tied up with restraint straps on her hands and feet and pushed back to her room by the nurses. She opened her eyes, and as soon as she saw me, she seemed to be in a daze for a moment. "Alice, it's you?" "Yes, it's me." I covered my nose. "You stink. Where is this? Let me out. Does it seem strange? Isn't this the place where you wanted to send me before?" I leaned close to her ear. "You're really stupid. Everything you've done is under my control." I stroked her translucent nose bridge with my hand. "The doctor who made your plastic surgery fail was also bribed by me, Alice." Anna began to tremble. She moved violently as if having an epileptic seizure. I frowned and took a step back. When she opened her eyes again, she seemed like a different person. "Where am I?" "No, it was clearly me who sent you to the mental hospital. How come it's me now? Ah, my head hurts. What's going on?" I silently turned on the electric current switch. In an instant, a violent electric current passed through the restraint straps. Anna let out an "ah" and closed her eyes again. I put on my sunglasses and left the place. Before long, Anna died, and her caretaker, Max, was locked up in prison because of abusing patients. The people I had arranged in advance also gave him a good reception in prison, just like what he had done to me before. All the past events were finally settled. I finished all the work in my hands. By then, my assets were enough for me to be on the rich list. On a sunny day, I handed over the work to other agents and chose to retire. Then I bought a cruise ship and took 10 male models to travel around the world.